My father grew up with my grandfather, who was a machinist, and it kind of came natural to him. He was always tinkering and liked taking things apart and seeing how they worked, putting things back together, and fell into a love for vehicles, love for cars, and grew it into his passion of having an auto repair shop. Oh, as a kid, I grew up in the shop. Spent my summers sweeping floors, emptying garbage, doing a lot of the different little things that a young person would do. One of my earliest recollections, one of the things that I really remember is I was probably about 8, 9 years old, and I remember standing on a 5-gallon pail washing parts off of a vehicle that my father was fixing, getting them ready for him to put back on. I was cleaning them and preparing them. And then shortly thereafter, I was probably roughly in about 4th grade, so about that age range, and helping my father rebuild a transmission, and my father commenting to me that you're probably the only 4th grader that's gonna know how to rebuild a transmission. A lot of it was about being with my dad, following in my father's footsteps. My first car when I turned 16 years old was a car that a customer had left at the shop because it needed so much work. It needed an engine replacement, and they did not see the value in doing that. My father said, if you want a vehicle, this is going to be your car, and we'll fix it up together. And we did. We rebuilt the engine in it and whatever else it needed. And that was the car that got me through my teen years in college. I think it was always something that I had in my mind that this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I remember being out on tow calls with Dad and just different things. Growing up in the business, being around Dad, I would have to say that we carried on the traditions of this is a family business. Everybody that comes into us, we want to treat like we would our family. Being a small community, not that everybody knows everybody, but word travels in a small community. And I can remember being with friends from school and going over to their house, and I remember a specific instance where it turned out it was the brother-in-law of my friend's father. Said, well, who are you? Who's your parents? And when I told him Dan Daniels was my dad, oh, he owns the repair shop in Taberg. Oh, he's a great guy, you know, one of the most honest repair shops that there is in town, you know. And if anybody can fix it, he's the guy to fix it, and he's gonna do right by you and treat you honestly. One of the things that my father taught me growing in the business is that what I say is what I do, and what I do is what I say. And our words still mean something today. Being that we are turning 40 years old and we're going into our 2nd generation, even now that I have a daughter that possibly someday will make it our 3rd generation, shows that we have a good reputation in the community. We have integrity in the business that we do. There's clients of ours that I went to high school with, and their parents, I remember working through my high school days in the shop, seeing their parents coming in, and even their parents. And it's amazing how the trust that we have built with them resonates through to them sending their kids, and then their kids' kids, and now even their kids' kids' kids to us. There's 2 things in the automotive repair world that everybody needs, and that's tires and oil changes. We've been selling tires since day one, and what we have found lately is tire prices continually to increase. When gas prices increase and oil prices increase, tires are the next thing to increase. And we found that tires are a big part of our business, but we're really in the business of servicing vehicles. So we thought, let's sell our tires at our cost, provide our customers with a value-added benefit of obtaining tires at the most reasonable price they can, and still getting the quality service that they need by coming to Dan's Auto Service. My wife, Kristen, and I were expecting our first child, our daughter, Savannah, when my wife was admitted to the hospital 2 months before her expected date. And ultimately, Savannah was born prematurely, approximately a month ahead of her scheduled time. When she was born, she only weighed 3.5 pounds, and she was admitted to the NICU unit of that hospital, where she stayed for approximately a month. What I found out during my wife's hospital stay and the premature birth of our daughter was that through the March of Dimes, they developed this suffocant therapy, which was a drug they were administering to my wife to help our daughter's lungs develop at a faster rate than a traditional newborn baby would have. With that emphasis on creating these drugs and creating the NICU units through the money they've raised, they have allowed premature babies to have a much higher outlook on survival. It really made me feel as a person, as a business owner, as somebody, I have to do something. You know, I'm in a position where I have to give back to them, and really putting things into perspective. Being a business owner in the community, I felt that it was my obligation to use that resource as a way to give back, as a way to help a family that may be going through the same situation that mine was. Brakes for Babies is a program that we offer our clients a complimentary free brake inspection on their vehicle, make sure everything is satisfactory and working as it should. And if we were to find that the vehicle did need brakes, we were providing free brake pads and donating 10% of the proceeds from the repair job to the March of Dimes. I would say the value that we bring in the auto repair is nobody really thinks about auto repair until they need it. We look at ourselves as doctors for your vehicle. Nobody thinks of the doctor until they get sick. Well, we like to consider ourselves providing that community service to be the doctor of your vehicle and maintain that and keep the aggravation and the stress that can come of needing vehicle repairs to a minimum. We know it's a stressful experience. We can see that our clients sometimes are not happy when they have an issue with their vehicle. And by providing customer service going above and beyond, and free loaner vehicles and our 2-year, 24,000 mile parts and labor warranty, we really take pride in providing that customer service that we feel our clients need and come to expect, and reduce the stress in getting their vehicles repaired. And in 40 years of doing business in the community, we feel that we have earned that and have to provide that every day to remain in business going past 40 years. And it shows because we're servicing 3 and 4 generations of families.